Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to our channel VAB, Across Borders. I'm Venus.
And I'm Bia. Today we are honored to have with us Miss Nandhini, a psychotherapist, special needs educator, and PhD researcher scholar with over 10 years of experience in mental health and child development. Welcome to our channel, Miss Nandhini.
Thank you, Miss Via. Thank you for having me here.
So let's start the questions. What exactly is toxic parenting? What's the biggest misconception people have about it?
Actually, this is a nice question. Toxic parenting is not like the parents are bad person. It means sometimes the parents' behavior, when the behavior shows on the breaking the children's emotionally. As a parent, we do constant controlling, constant comparing, more than appreciating, criticizing, or not even listening to the children's. These are all the things comes under. So as a parents, we are not aware of what we are really doing it. And the biggest misconception with people, they may think only the physical abuse is a harm, but emotional effect, whatever the children's gone through, that is a more than a physical effect.
Can you share a real life case without revealing any names that shows how deeply toxic parenting can affect a child?
Yeah, I work with a teenager who looked outside very happy. When she comes to the counseling and the child says, I'm not happy, and my parent always comparing with me with my brother who's topper in school. Even though she scored 80% in all her subject, the parents are always saying it's not enough, which is, and she never felt like good enough in front of the parents, which is emotionally the child is slowly getting affected, which the parents are not aware. And more often also I have seen the parents during my counseling as a psychotherapist, parents always wanted their profession to continue or follow or choose on their own children, like engineering or doctor, even without knowing the children's interests, or their abilities. First they should understand the child's abilities, but they don't. As a parent, we have to understand every child is different.
Why do some loving parents become toxic without even realizing it?
I want to mention here, most of the parents really love their children. They are not toxic. But the problem is they apply their own parenting, what they have received from their own parents, the same circumstances they're applying to their own children. In my experience as a psychotherapist, this point I really wanted to address, because each sessions, like it could be any age, when the children comes, especially as a therapist, when teenage counseling comes, I have noticed most of the parents are they are not they are struggling with the mental health or relationship problems, but they don't get help. So same thing, so taking care of our own health, like parents' health. Meanwhile, we are also helping the children when we are saying, as a mother, I have a headache, I have migraine, I have stomach pain. Same way, we have to treat ourselves. I have something, so I have to take care of it. Really, kids will be understand about the psychological part, as well as they'll be very happy. They're happy to help each other. That thing, parents should also take care of it. And the other thing is, when parents heal, most benefited for the children.
How toxic parenting affects children during their adulthood? How do they usually show up later in life?
I always believe in early intervention, even for the 2 years to any ages. Same way, when the same teenage, when we're talking about the teenage and the toxic parenting comes, when they grow as an adult, we see whatever the trauma they have gone through in an adult, again their self-esteem, and they can't able to socializing, and they are getting into the depression, and we used to call the PTSD, post-traumatic stress, from they build it from the childhood, and trusting issues with the co-friends or the classmates, or even some point of period siblings, because of the childhood trauma, they lose those things. And moreover, some people will be people pleaser, like always like thank you, saying sorry, because they always wanted to get an like approval. That's how the childhood was affected. They think that this is how the life functions, this is how the child should live their life. As a psychotherapist, I see many adults who still carry the childhood wound. When somebody is coming for the counseling, even it could be couple counseling or relationship or job issues, first thing I dig. We call it as a digging the brain. First thing, I'll go from the foundation. Okay, let's talk about the childhood. How was his childhood? Where is your parents? And how, when you hear their stories, it was like unimaginable, unbroken stories from there. That was the major part we can connect. That is how the adult was affected.
For parents who realize they've made mistakes, is it ever too late to change? What are the first few steps they should take to rebuild trust with their children?
No, it's never too late for change if it is for good, right? So the first step is accepting our mistakes without blaming the child first. Second thing is listening and apologize, like if it is needed, even if it is our mistakes, our children's mistake, doesn't matter. We as an adult, we take, as a parent, more than adult, we are parents for the children, for the goodwill. We look forward and took first step. Okay, I'm so sorry, apologizing if needed. Then we have to build a trust through our actions. The trust should build through our action. We should not even I'm doing this. No need. They will see you. Oh, my mom is doing for me, my dad is doing for me. They will understand definitely through our action, right? And other thing is, children really don't they don't need perfect parents. Actually, they really need a parent who really want to change. It could be any age. If you see 5 years child or your teenager or even adult, the children's always, when accepted, surrendered, then they will tremendous, you can see the changes.
So what are the 3 parenting habits that every parent should practice to raise emotionally healthy and confident children?
That's really good, valuable one. And as I could say, main thing, just listen. My child can talk anything with me. Without any boundaries, without any barriers, I can go and talk. That unconditional love and the space, how much space we have given to our children. That's the first thing, building without judging. We'll work together, So working together is the first thing, because then only we are acknowledging that no judgment is happening, right? Secondly, appreciate your child rather than criticizing. We more often do criticize. Why you have done this, okay, what is, even the small part, it's good. First, pick the good one, then you can tell, then it's okay, you did this, it's okay, next time, then they will get into the insight of, okay, the parents are believing in me, I will try next time, that kind of. The third, spend quality time, at least 5 minutes every day. At least maximum 50 minutes, because 5 minutes is not enough, but at least 5 minutes, come here, how was your day, what you did today. At least don't ask them, just share yours. Even working parents or even housewife, mom, I made cooking, I did this, and mixie broken, so just share that. And then, suddenly the cooking, I didn't make nice cook, your dad was said the food is not good, just make silly, kind of sharing your feelings as well. It's not like complaining, it's kind of, so they will, you will get the curiosity with yourself. Like how we call and make a friend, I did this, blah, blah, blah. Then why don't you make with your friends?
For someone who grew up with toxic parenting, what's the first step toward healing and moving forward?
First, we have to tell the children, understand, and what was happened was not your fault. Definitely the child the child comes under the parents' control, what is happening in her or in his life, it was not his fault. So we have to make sure it's happening because of the environment. And the other thing is accept your feelings, don't ignore it. Because whatever you're going through, sorrows, just accept it, but don't ignore. When you ignore, if you want to cry, just cry. Bring the catharsis. We use the word of catharsis. If something is happening, cry. Crying is nothing is wrong. There is a false in the myth also. The boy should not cry. If the boys cry, you are a girl or a cry. We shouldn't have used the kind of words on the children. Crying, it's good. Cry. And if you need it, if it is persist, if you need to talk to the trustworthy, we have to guide the children, or else taking a mental health professional support. And that's really a good part. And also healing takes time, but it is possible. This is for everyone. It will take time, but it is definitely possible.
If you could leave our viewers with one message for parents and one message for children, what would it be?
To parents, firstly, whatever your words, that is the inner voice of your child. Okay? And to children, your past doesn't decide your future. And then once again I'm telling, healing takes time, but it is possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nandhini, for sharing your knowledge, your experience, and such valuable advice with us today. We truly hope this conversation encourages parents to reflect on their parenting journey and helps children and adults realize that healing is always possible.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nandhini.
Thank you, Ms. Bia. Thank you, Ms. Venus. It was nice, and no words to say. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you everyone for being with us. If this conversation resonated with you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel VAB, We Cross Borders. We'll see you in our next podcast, inshallah. Until then, take care, Allah Hafiz and bye.